You know, listen, I've been working in the business a long time, and The Wraith is one of the movies I'm proud that I got to work on. Personally, it was gratifying, and I met a lot of great people. You know, it's just, it looks like I'm going to have one of those kind of odd, eclectic, wide-ranging careers. And listen, I don't want to let on any state secrets here, but I really enjoy gainful employment. And you know, I like it when somebody asks me for my Social Security number with the intent of giving me a paycheck. And you know, I honestly don't really care if it's a horror movie or a comedy or a big budget movie or a little budget movie, although the difference is, you know, the big budget movies pay more, you know, and the craft service is better.
Dragonfire Crossing wins! Ready! Set! Rugged, get him up! Oh, shit!
I've been so fortunate. You know, I've been in this business 48 years, and I've gotten to do just a complete potpourri of work and styles, and I've worked with the A-listers, and I've worked on big giant budgeted films and little guerrilla films, and I've also, you know, I worked a lot back in the 60s. You know, I worked with Danny Kaye and Red Skelton and Jean Arthur, and I did a great movie with Henry Fonda back in like 1970 or 71. So I've gotten to work in a lot of, you know, different sort of arenas. And you know, as I'm getting a little older now, I'm beginning to really feel gratification, and I'm very, very grateful that I've had the experiences that I've had, both, you know, with the so-called A-listers, and then, you know, on to the B-listers and the C-listers. I enjoy it all.
Hey, Ruck, how we doing on the digital radio killer?
Hit, man. It's totally functional. I went on an audition for The Wraith. And I remember vividly going in, and at that time, Dave Sherrill and Jamie Bosian were at the audition too, and we were all sort of waiting around, and I don't recall if there was anybody else getting ready to read for Rughead, but I went in and read for Mike Marvin, and I felt like I gave a pretty good audition. I was, what, 25, 26 years old at the time, whatever, 25 years old at the time. And I had been plenty experienced, and I felt comfortable going in and auditioning, and I didn't realize it at the time. He knew he was going to hire me, and having me come in and audition was sort of just obligatory. I found out later from Mike that he had seen a short film that I had made with Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton had directed a short film called But I'm Happy, and I played the lead in Michael's short, and it was really, really funny. And he had seen it just literally the week before, or maybe even the night before, on the David Letterman Film Festival. So after seeing me in Michael Keaton's short film, Mike knew he was going to hire me.
Oh my God. What's wrong? Put it on! Packard? Get a load of this! Connect this son of a bitch and let's go!
The character was written as Rughead, and it was written that the character would have an Eraserhead hairdo, and I was already losing my hair by then, so that wasn't an issue. So Mike, you know, even at the audition said, "Oh, well, we'll get you a hairpiece, a wig," and you know, I remember after I'd gotten cast, going down and getting the toupee fitted for me, and that was an everyday chore. That, you know, it's not the first time or the last time that I wear a hairpiece. I wore a hairpiece on Evil Speak. My hair was falling out when I was 16 years old.
Rex, you You ever seen one of those before?
Let's just add it to our collection first. We can figure out what it is second.
Rughead was just the sort of the brainy, smart mechanic wizard of this gang of you know, real knuckleheads. You know, my only question in retrospect is why the hell would Rughead be hanging out with these knuckleheads? I don't know, maybe they had good drugs or something. But, you know, I was the brains of the gang, and there was Nick Cassavetes, and there was Jamie Bosian, and Dave Sherrill, and Griff O'Neill, and we had a wonderful time filming the picture in Tucson, Arizona. It was, you know, it's happened a few times in my life where I've been with a group of guys and gals that have bonded as actors and hung out and then remained friends over the years, and that was true on The Wraith. Charlie and I got along great, had a great time together, hung out. In fact, later on, a couple of years after The Wraith came out, Charlie wanted to direct a couple of short films. And he used me as the lead in a little short film that he did called RPG. And Johnny Depp, it was me and Johnny Depp, and it was, at the time, actually, Charlie made two films, RPG 1 and RPG 2. And in the first RPG, I got screen credit above Johnny Depp. And then Johnny had become successful on 21 Jump Street, and he was, you know, he was a rising star. So when we did the sequel to RPG, Charlie had to flip the credits around. So at one point in my career, I was getting credit above Johnny Depp, which is cool. Points for my team.
So where is he, Tuna Can?
Dude, we couldn't find a spot ball anywhere.
Yeah, we went across town, down to Crawford Gully, stopped for a box of goobers.
You guys are pissing me off.
You know, in a way, especially with me and Nick and David and Griff and Jamie, you know, it was sort of us against some other people on the production. In fact, I understand why. I do as an adult now and been around the block a few times. But John Kimmeny, the producer, came down with this edict that we couldn't see the dailies. He didn't want any of us seeing the dailies. And you know, dailies are where they show yesterday's work today, like at lunch or after dinner. And they had a little projection room set up at the hotel where we were staying. But John Kimmeny came down and said, "Oh, no young actors in the daily room." And one time, we actually snuck in before the dailies, climbed under one of the tables with the tablecloths covering us, and sort of watched the dailies, just because friggin' Kimmeny had told us we couldn't do it.
Kind of a mess now, don't you think?
The gutter boy and Skank, they were right there. It's like they vaporized.
You know, I'll tell you what, the Wraith marked one really wonderful thing for me as an actor. There are a handful of actors that I have watched that I have said to myself, I would love to work with them. One of them, he's done some acting, he's not really an actor, but it was David Bowie. I would love to work with David Bowie sometime. I would love to work with Jack Nicholson sometime. I had the opportunity to work with Robert De Niro, and that was a wonderful experience. But another person on the list that I always wanted to work with was Randy Quaid. And working on The Wraith was just cool, and we had a couple of scenes together, and he was a great guy. And, you know, he's a few years older than us. So we didn't have any kind of real great bonding experience, but just for me as an actor, the guy was I knew at the time, the guy was a consummate pro that knew his business. And, you know, I felt pretty good about getting to work with him. And I've worked with him since, and we're golf. He's a golfer, I'm a golfer. We've got that in common. But that was one memory about The Wraith on a professional level that I find really satisfying.
You going home now? You stay there till you hear from me, huh?
You know, I was disappointed when the picture came out, and you know, it played for a little while and got sort of dismissed. Hey, listen, making movies is hard, and releasing movies, it's a difficult thing, and if a movie's not released just right, you know, it'll come and go pretty fast, and I've watched that happen numerous times at all different levels of budget. The one nice thing about The Wraith is the fact that, you know, yeah, it may have its flaws and it didn't do great at the box office when it came out, but it really certainly does have a loyal following. And I guess to this day, there's Wraith clubs and shit. And you know, I see it on the, you know, social websites and stuff. There's actually people that have, you know, Wraith websites and stuff. So anyway, I think that's cool.